While Singapore's glittering skyline continues to dominate headlines as Asia's financial powerhouse, something unprecedented is happening behind the gleaming facades. Tech giants are quietly shuttering offices. Banking floors once buzzing with activity now echo with uncertainty. And thousands of highly skilled professionals are receiving termination letters, their carefully constructed lives suddenly thrown into chaos. But here's what the mainstream media isn't telling you. Just across the causeway, a transformation is unfolding that could reshape Southeast Asia's economic landscape forever. Malaysia isn't just watching Singapore's turmoil from the sidelines, it's positioning itself to capture what its neighbor is losing. If you want to discover how global economic shifts are creating unexpected winners and losers, you're in the right place. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because what's happening right now in this region is just the beginning of a story that will affect millions of lives across Asia. And don't forget to leave a like on this video to help us reach more people who need to understand these massive changes before it's too late. Section 1. The Singapore Exodus. Singapore's unemployment rate has been creeping upward, particularly in sectors that once seemed untouchable. The technology sector, which added thousands of jobs during the pandemic boom, has reversed course dramatically. Major multinational corporations have announced restructuring plans affecting their Singapore operations, with some consolidating regional headquarters and others shifting focus to markets with lower operational costs. The financial services industry, long considered the bedrock of Singapore's economy, is experiencing its own reckoning as global banks reassess their Asian strategies amid rising costs and changing profit margins. What was once an unstoppable migration of talent into the city-state has slowed to a trickle, and for the first time in decades, some are asking the unthinkable. Is Singapore's golden era coming to an end? But here's where the story takes a darker turn. The professionals being laid off aren't just losing jobs, they're facing an existential crisis. Singapore's notoriously high cost of living means that even well-paid executives often live month to month, trapped in a cycle of expensive housing, international school fees, and the relentless pressure to maintain appearances in one of the world's most competitive societies. When the paycheck stops, the entire carefully balanced equation collapses. Suddenly, the $4,000 monthly rent, the $2,000 in childcare costs, and the endless expenses of life in one of the planet's most expensive cities become impossible to sustain. And as these professionals scramble to find their next opportunity, many are discovering that the same factors that made Singapore attractive, its small size, its efficiency, its focus, now work against them. There are only so many positions, only so many companies, and a growing pool of desperate, qualified candidates all competing for the same limited opportunities. Section 2. Malaysia's strategic positioning. While Singapore contracts, Malaysia has been quietly executing a long-term strategy that suddenly looks like genius. The country has invested heavily in infrastructure connecting its major urban centers, with high-speed rail links and improved highways making cities like Kuala Lumpur, Penang, and Johor Bahru far more accessible than ever before. Special economic zones have been established with tax incentives specifically designed to attract multinational corporations and regional headquarters. The government's digital economy blueprint has prioritized technology infrastructure, creating ecosystems in cities like Cyberjaya that rival anything in the region for connectivity and modern facilities. Perhaps most importantly, Malaysia offers something Singapore can no longer provide: space to grow, room to breathe, and costs that allow both businesses and individuals to build sustainable operations without the crushing overhead that has made Singapore increasingly unviable for many sectors. The economic fundamentals tell a compelling story. Malaysia's labor costs remain a fraction of Singapore's, yet the country has a highly educated, multilingual workforce capable of operating at international standards. The cost of office space in Kuala Lumpur is roughly 60 to 70% lower than comparable spaces in Singapore's central business district, while residential property offers even more dramatic savings. A modern condominium in Kuala Lumpur's premium districts costs less than half what a similar unit would command across the causeway. For companies reassessing their regional strategies, the mathematics become inescapable. Why maintain expensive Singapore operations when you can establish a presence in Malaysia, access the same regional markets, tap into a talented workforce and immediately improve your bottom line? And this calculation isn't just theoretical. Data from Malaysia's investment promotion agencies shows a significant uptick in foreign direct investment inquiries and approvals, with particular interest from technology companies, financial services firms, and multinational corporations looking to establish or expand their Malaysian footprint as they simultaneously reduce their Singapore commitments. Section 3. The human migration. Beyond the corporate boardrooms and economic statistics, there's a human dimension to this story that's equally compelling and far more personal. Singaporeans and expatriates who built careers in the city-state are increasingly exploring Malaysia as a viable alternative, not as a fallback option, but as a strategic choice. They're discovering that Johor Bahru, just across the causeway, offers a lifestyle that feels impossible in Singapore. Landed homes with gardens, international schools at a third of the cost, and the ability to save money rather than simply survive. Kuala Lumpur has emerged as a destination for remote workers and digital professionals who can maintain their international client bases while enjoying a standard of living that would require multi-million-dollar wealth in Singapore. Penang, with its blend of tech industry growth and lifestyle amenities, has become a magnet for families seeking better work-life balance without sacrificing career opportunities. What's fascinating is how quickly perceptions are shifting. Just 5 years ago, moving from Singapore to Malaysia would have been seen as a step backward, a compromise forced by circumstances rather than a deliberate choice. Today, that narrative is changing. Malaysian cities are experiencing cultural and culinary renaissance, with world-class dining, art scenes, and entertainment options that rival anything in the region. The country's natural beauty, from tropical beaches to highland retreats, offers weekend escapes that don't require expensive flights and elaborate planning. More importantly, the professional opportunities are real and growing. Technology hubs are expanding, financial services firms are hiring, and multinational corporations are building teams that need experienced leadership. The professionals leaving Singapore aren't just finding jobs in Malaysia, they're often finding better opportunities, lower stress, and the financial breathing room to actually build wealth rather than simply maintain appearances. This isn't a story of defeat, it's a story of adaptation, of recognizing when the game has changed and being smart enough to change with it. The economic map of Southeast Asia is being redrawn right before our eyes, and those who recognize the shift early will be the ones who benefit most. Singapore's struggles aren't a tragedy, they're a correction, a reminder that no economic model lasts forever and that adaptability matters more than past success. Malaysia's rise isn't guaranteed, but the foundations are being laid right now for a new chapter in the region's economic story. And for the individuals caught in this transition, the ones losing jobs in Singapore or contemplating their next move, understanding these larger forces could be the difference between struggling through uncertainty and positioning yourself for the opportunities that always emerge from change. If this story resonated with you, if it made you think differently about what's happening in this region, then do me a favor, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss our next investigation into the economic forces reshaping our world. Drop a comment below telling me what you think. Are you seeing these changes firsthand? Are you considering a move? What other economic shifts should we be covering? And most importantly, keep watching, keep learning, and keep questioning the narratives you're being fed. Because the real story is always more complex, more interesting, and more important than the headlines suggest. I'll see you in the next one.